retaining more of our income. Now, what do we do with this income we've made a conscious effort to retain or to keep in our possession, like having money physically in our pockets, readily available at our fingertips? In a capitalistic, consumer-driven society where our pockets are being psychologically pushed and pulled in every direction you can think of, now more so in this digital age, we have to stay steady on our journey towards making more money. We live in a society where money is a necessary and very real tool that allows us to not only survive but to thrive. Try going to your landlord or your utility company or your internet service provider and try paying your bill with a smile. I mean, like, literally go to wherever their payment center is and go there and say, hey, I'm going to pay this bill. Here's my smile in exchange for the services that you provide. Let me know how long your lights stay on. We have to think differently. One way that we can think about it is thinking like a sniper. So let's think like a sniper, right? We're looking for a vantage point. So we choose a location that has a bird's eye view that enables us to see with a 360 degree perspective. We can see 360 degrees around us. It's a location that offers us the best opportunity to reach our target in an efficient manner. In this scenario, bullets cost us money. They're a very real expense. But common sense costs us absolutely nothing. So then why use 100 bullets when we can just use one to get the same job done? So we've picked our target, more specifically, making more money. We're not talking about making the same amount of money for the next 10 years or 20 years. We're talking about making more money. We can see this target in the distance through our rifle scope, poking its head out from cover. It's a very elusive target. That's the only way that I can explain it. So here, using our hidden virtue of patience is most likely well advised. We either have to draw it out or wait until it shows itself before we pull the trigger. From my personal experience, which may be different from yours, taking the former approach is more realistic. One marker of a great company, and everyone on Wall Street that's listening to this, you know where I'm going with this, not a mediocre one, and this is only one marker, is how that company uses their retained earnings. Earnings they get to keep in their possession and choose what they want to do with at some point in time. Some companies choose to simply keep it and do absolutely nothing. They hold on to it for a rainy day. Others, maybe they decide to put it back into their business to make it better by doing things like continuing to chop off debt or maybe enhancing their maintenance program for depreciating assets, things that wear down over time. The concept behind that being, let's say they have a certain piece of machinery in their factory, I don't know, and that machinery has a lifespan of 10 years. If they put money into an enhanced maintenance program, they're going to be able to stretch out the lifespan of that piece of machinery to, let's say, I don't know, 15 years. So 50% of its original lifespan. Because they know that eventually, after this piece of machinery has worn down over time, they're going to have to repurchase it again, and that's going to cost them money. So if they have a piece of machinery that's $1 million, they're going to have to re-spend $1 million sometime in the future, or probably even more, because now the purchasing power of that dollar has changed over time, in order to do the same job. We can do the same. And you know what? We will. So the next step in this process is to create a reserve. All right? Let's hold on to our retained earnings for now and do absolutely nothing but create a reserve of readily available cash. Why? Surprises are a part of our lives, and to ignore them is to ignore the reality of life. In fact, you can say if you ignore the reality of life, or the realities of life, you're setting yourself up for failure, and that's what we don't want. You get sick, your company downsizes, your computer screen all of a sudden goes black. Without a reserve, you may possibly have to dig into a credit card or some other financing instrument and incur debt again. Debt is not our friend. Debt is what we just worked our asses off to get out of. Again, debt is anything we owe that does not appreciate in value. It's the sequoia tree-sized weed we spoke about in prior parts in this rose garden we're trying to grow and maintain. So if you get fired or you need to replace your computer, we should think like the Boy Scouts. Be prepared. Don't start making any moves until you have a reserve fund set up. To avoid that necessary step is to avoid the real aspects of our lives, the realities of life. Again, most people don't do this. But then again, most people are not like us. They're not aiming for the target of making more money, right? And that's okay. Not everybody is going to be shooting for the same thing. The cushion of a reserve fund should always be readily available to us so that we can use it right now, preferably in cash form. If you get fired, let's say now you have 3 to 6 months you're unemployed, what are you going to do? We need to have at least 3 to 6 months of similar income to help us to weather this storm so that we can come out alive. Now